The first time the lie began, it happened in full daylight, under a sky so blue it felt unfair to what was about to unravel. A single sentence changed everything, spoken not as a joke or a flirtation, but as a desperate lifeline thrown across a polished executive desk. In that moment, a tired single father realized that the quiet, careful life he had built for his child was about to collide with a world of power, expectations, and a love neither of them was prepared for. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and unexpected bonds that heal broken lives, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Spark. Your support keeps stories like this alive. Evan Cross had mastered the art of surviving. Every morning began with sunlight creeping through thin curtains, waking him before his alarm. He packed lunches, tied shoelaces, checked homework, and whispered promises to his 7-year-old son, Leo, that everything would be okay. Evan worked hard as a financial analyst for a prestigious real estate firm, not because he loved numbers, but because stability was the only gift he could give his child after loss had hollowed their home. Leo's mother had passed away 3 years earlier, leaving behind silence, grief, and a father who learned how to braid hair with trembling hands. Evan's life was carefully balanced, fragile but honest, until the day his boss asked him for the impossible. Clara Whitmore was known in the company as ice wrapped in silk. Young for a CEO, sharp-minded, impeccably dressed and unreachable, she walked through sunlit hallways like she owned the air itself. But Evan noticed things others didn't. He saw how her hands tightened when family was mentioned, how she stayed late long after daylight faded, how her smile vanished the moment she was alone. When Clara summoned him to her office on a bright Tuesday morning, Evan expected another quarterly review. Instead, he found a woman cornered by her own success. The firm's board, conservative and image-obsessed, had given Clara an ultimatum disguised as advice. They wanted stability, tradition, a family image to reassure investors, a married CEO they believed inspired trust. Clara had 1 year to present a respectable personal life or risk being replaced by someone more acceptable. She had no partner, no time to find one, and no interest in turning her private life into a public performance. Evan, with his gentle presence, spotless reputation, and single-father story, fit the role too perfectly. What Clara offered him wasn't romance, but a contract built on necessity. A year of pretending, appearances at events, shared public moments, and a carefully crafted narrative. In return, she promised security Evan had never dreamed of, a raise that could change his son's future, flexible hours, and protection in a company that often devoured its weakest. Evan felt the weight of daylight pressing in through the glass walls as he considered the cost. Lies frightened him, but poverty frightened him more. Leo's future tipped the scales. The arrangement began with rules and schedules, but life had a way of ignoring plans. Their first public appearance was at a daytime charity luncheon, cameras flashing as Clara rested her hand lightly on Evan's arm. Sunlight glinted off crystal glasses and polished floors, and for a moment Evan forgot it was all pretend. Clara's composure softened, her voice warmer, as if the role gave her permission to be human. The press adored them, a power couple grounded by fatherhood and purpose. Evan went home that afternoon feeling unsettled, unsure whether the ache in his chest was fear or something else. The hardest part wasn't the public lie, it was the private truth. Clara insisted they share a penthouse apartment to maintain appearances, a place flooded with daylight from floor-to-ceiling windows. Evan moved in with one suitcase and a heart full of doubt. Leo explored the wide rooms like a museum, eyes bright with wonder. Clara watched. Kim carefully, uncertain around children but trying. Slowly she learned how to pour cereal without spilling, how to listen to long stories about dinosaurs, how to kneel to a child's eye level in the afternoon sun. Leo, unguarded and honest, took to her in a way that surprised them both. Day after day, the lie grew roots. Mornings began with shared breakfasts bathed in sunlight, Clara reading headlines while Evan packed lunches. Afternoons brought school pickups and quiet car rides filled with laughter. Evenings were professional, distant, respectful, but something shifted in the spaces between. Evan noticed Clara's laugh was real when no one was watching. Clara noticed Evan carried grief like a bruise he refused to press. They were two lonely adults pretending for the world, slowly finding comfort in the act. The tension peaked when Leo fell ill one bright afternoon. Evan rushed home, panic clawing at his chest. Clara cancelled meetings without hesitation, sitting beside the bed as sunlight warmed the room. She held Leo's hand, reading stories until his breathing slowed. Evan watched her from the doorway, realization dawning with painful clarity. This was no longer just an arrangement. Clara wasn't pretending in that moment. Neither was he. Yet fear lingered. Evan worried about the day the truth would surface, about the damage a broken illusion could cause his son. Clara feared something deeper, the vulnerability she had buried beneath ambition. Daylight, once a symbol of performance, became their shared witness. In its glow, walls fell.